Okay, so now we have a sine inverse and then we have a cosine inside the parentheses. Now our angle is 13 pi over 6. Well, if I think about where's 13 pi over 6, okay, there's 6 pi over 6, 12 pi over 6, and then 13 pi over 6 is going to be in here. It's more than one trip around the circle, and so I want to get a reference angle here, or a coterminal angle right there, and that's going to be pi over 6. So I'm going to rewrite this then, sine inverse of cosine pi over 6. Now, they ask us to do this two ways. They ask us to do it by direct evaluation. That's what I'm going to do right here. And that's my preferred way of doing it. But then they say, well, you can also use what we were talking about before with the cofunctions, and we'll show you that way as well. All right, so now I think in my mind, what's the cosine of pi over 6? So I think about that, and I say, well, dang. Let me write that different. I think about what is the value here. I know that from a unit circle or from a chart, the cosine of pi over 6 is the square root of 3 over 2. And it's positive. I'm in the first quadrant. Okay, now I'm thinking, what's the inverse sine of square root of 3 over 2? So what angle, and sometimes I'll think like this in my mind, what angle has a sine that's the square root of 3 over 2? And I'm thinking that is pi over 6. No, I'm not. I'm thinking it's pi over 3. It would be positive, and so its inverse sine, I can only be in the fourth or first quadrant. If it's positive, I've got to be in the first quadrant. So that's why it's pi over 3. Okay, now let's try the other method and see if you like that better. We're going to start with our idea here that it's more than one trip around the circle. So we're going to use a coterminal angle that's equivalent. Okay, now we're going to apply the cofunction idea. So then this would be sine inverse, sine, and it's going to be pi over 2 minus pi over 6 because of the cofunction idea, okay? So I have to take pi over 2 and subtract pi over 6. Okay, so get a common denominator, and I think we're going to get pi over 3. And then this is in the range, right? So it's in the first quadrant, so I'm all good. And I can just say this is equal to pi over 3. So which way is easier to do? I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of a direct evaluation person, but you could remember the cofunction idea, and that's maybe easier to do.